is not a list of every single obscure musical ever written. What's up guys, it's me Daph, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some musicals that you should listen to besides Hamilton. Now Hamilton is great, we all love Hamilton, or most of us anyway, but there are so many other musicals that deserve more love and hype that are simply not getting the attention and love that they deserve. The musicals that we're going to be focusing on today are musicals that I feel like are in some way related to Hamilton, whether it's musical style, written by the same person, Lin-Manuel Miranda, or just similar dancing or costume style, that sort of thing. Today's list is not going to be covering super obscure musicals. Today's list is also not going to be covering super popular musicals like Dear Evan Hansen, Be More Chill, Waitress, Hadestown, Heathers, Six, Mean Girls, Beetlejuice, Phantom of the Opera, Wicked, Chicago, Lion King, Rent, Les Mis, or West Side Story. Notice how I still stuck a little list of super popular musicals in there for you. If you like Hamilton because it was written and starring Lin-Manuel Miranda, you're in luck, because there are two other musicals that fall into that category. The first one is In the Heights. In the Heights was very popular a few years before Hamilton, but now Hamilton has kind of taken the lead. In the Heights is kind of like Hamilton with a bittersweet kind of happy ending. Another musical that was written by and starred Lin-Manuel Miranda is 21 Chump Street. 21 Chump Street is a kind of more popular musical on this list. It is a 10-minute musical that was based on a news story, and it's really, really good for a 10-minute musical. Those aren't the only musicals that Lin-Manuel Miranda has written though. Lin-Manuel Miranda also helped write Bring It On, which is essentially Hamilton set in high school centered around cheerleading. Sounds weird, but it's really good. Bring It On is also based on the movie of the same name. Now, if you like Hamilton because it centers on some sort of historical event, these are some musicals that you'll also enjoy. I first saw Daddy Longlegs with my best friend at a local theater a few years ago, and I was swept away by how amazing this musical could be when it only has two actors and have very little dialogue. It's just songs. So it is based on a 1912 novel of the same name by Gene Webster, and Daddy Longlegs is set in turn-of-the-century New England and tells the story of the orphan Jerusha Abbott at the John Grier Home, a orphanage, and her mysterious benefactor who agrees to send her to college, whom she nicknames Daddy Longlegs after seeing his elongated shadow that looks kind of like a spider, I guess. Another musical that you'll like is Newsies. It follows the newsboy strike around the Industrial Revolution era, kind of, I guess, and so it's got historical elements, and it also has some of the most amazing dancing on Broadway. Also similar to Hamilton, it has a mostly male cast with a few very strong female leads. Annie Get Your Gun is based on the story of Annie Oakley. If you don't know who that is, go look her up, I'm not your history professor. But it has some of the most famous songs in theater, such as I've Got the Sun in the Morning and the Moon at Night, or you may have seen this in a meme, Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better. Another historical musical is Come From Away. Come From Away is set in the few weeks following 9/11, and it follows the story of 28 planes that were forced to land in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. It follows the characters that are all based on real Gander residents, as well as some of the 7,000 stranded travelers they housed and fed. Come From Away is a reminder of the capacity of human kindness in even the darkest times, and a triumph over human hate. It sounds like from its original base, you would kind of expect it to be a really dark, sad musical, but no, it really focuses on some of the good things that happened because of 9/11. Another historical musical that follows a semi-well-known politician is Evita. Two other historical or semi-historical musicals that you might enjoy are The Great Comet of 1812, or Fiddler on the Roof. Both of them are set in Russia, but Great Comet is a historical, sarcastic novel with a based on a historical, sarcastic novel with a great ensemble, and it's called, as the ensemble reminds us many times in the show, it's about a complicated Russian novel. It's kind of set around 1812, as the title suggests, whereas Fiddler on the Roof is kind of an uncomplicated, bittersweet Russian novel set in 1905. The rest of these musicals are kind of targeted towards a slightly younger audience, but they're all really good anyway for anyone of any age. Our next musicals are all based on or somewhat similar to Disney movies. We have Hunchback of Notre Dame, Frozen, and Anastasia. So I know that most people, when they hear like, oh yeah, they took Disney movies and they turned them into Broadway shows, you think, oh, they're not going to be that good. These three are really good. You know, Aladdin isn't as great, it's still good, but Frozen, Anastasia, Hunchback of Notre Dame, they all took a Disney film and made it so much better by adding new songs and creating a different aesthetic for each one. So I would 100% recommend Frozen the musical, Anastasia the musical, and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Our last musical is The Lightning Thief. I had the great opportunity to go see this show on tour a few years ago, and I was swept away by how well they adapted a Percy Jackson book, the first Percy Jackson book, into a Broadway film. It kind of has the same vibe as Hamilton, with the actors all being kind of part of an ensemble and playing multiple characters. Lightning Thief is a rock musical, and one of its stars is George Salazar, so you can't get much better than that.